Hello dear students, welcome to another doubt clearing or foundation building session. The next topic that I have to deal with you is, I talked in my last video, I've talked about habitat. Okay, so there is another concept that a lot of students find difficult. Now there's a concept called as habitat. There are also concept called as territory and home range. A lot of students find these as confusing. So now let's try to break it down. Let's try to analyze what exactly are the differences between each of this. So habitat, as I've mentioned even previously, habitat is an area which has all the correct conditions or all the best conditions for a living organism to exist. Okay, for all the living organism, for that particular living organism to exist in a good manner. So you have habitat, you can have, in the habitat, you can have all of these good conditions needed for its breeding, food, water, etc. Now in one of the common examples I say is that when you want to start preparing for UPSC, your survival is basically getting into the rank list, and you choose a habitat which might be one of those civil service hubs which are there, which is one hub, such hub as Delhi. So you're there, and then you have all of these institutes and libraries and facilities and all of that over there. So that is your entire habitat. So let me ask you a question. Can your habitat be shared by other organisms? Yes, there are others also who have similar needs. So your habitat can be shared, or you can say a single habitat may be common for more than one organism. Why? Because they can all have very similar requirements. Okay, so that concept is clear. You have a habitat and that habitat can be shared. Okay, now one thing you observe, the next concept to get it right into your head. So this is your habitat, keep that at bay. Now there's another word called as territory. First of all, let me establish the fact, territory is a very informal concept. What is the meaning of an informal concept? Like for example, right now again, if you are watching this in your library or something, okay, now and suppose if you're watching this in a classroom also, how many of you you're sitting in one place and you have kept a bag or something next to you so that nobody comes closer to you? Okay, how many of you got into a bus and you see some, not so great people and you don't want them to come and sit next to you, so then you're like, I'll keep my bag over here, or I'll keep one handkerchief over there so that I can say like, somebody's coming, that seat is there. What am I doing? I'm basically charting an area around me. And I'm saying that, don't come closer. This is my personal space. I don't want anyone to come closer than this. And if somebody tries to come also, I try to defend it. Right? So this exactly is the concept of territory. What we do very unconsciously, we build certain areas. For example, someone tries to come closer to us. You're like, no, stand there. Because why? You have made a territory around you that you don't want people to cross it and come closer. Similarly, in the living world, animals create a boundary to mark it and defend it. Why do they have to defend it? Sometimes what's going to happen, some animal is trying to come and, nab your young ones or cause harm to you. So the other animal also should be aware, like, no, this is a territory of something, of a tiger, of a lion, so I shouldn't be able to cross it. Animals normally mark their territory by excreting on the boundaries, by releasing hormones on the boundaries, by giving out, shedding their hair and everything on the boundaries. When they do all of these processes, what they are basically doing is saying that, see, you stay away, but you don't have to come closer. So understand, territory concept is informal because it is all dependent on what is the area you want to defend. If in an area there are not so many predators for an animal, the animal will not mark a very large territory. The animal might mark a smaller territory. Just like you would do. Your friend is coming closer and sitting next to you. You won't mark that bigger territory. You won't keep like 3 bags next to you. You'll be like, okay, fine, they can come and sit. So territory is a very informal concept. You cannot say that there are fixed territories. Like I cannot be like, like, okay, there's a lion over here. If the lion here is here, 5 kilometers away from the lion will be its territory. I cannot say that. It's a very, very arbitrary thing, very subjective thing that the animal decides based on its need to defend. So that is territory. So if you take a habitat, in that habitat itself, the animal, based on wherever it is, it can define these small territories. So that is your territory. Now coming to the last word, and this is called as home range. Now come back to your old Rajinder Nagar area. What has happened is you have fixed an institute for your studies. So you have a PG. You have an institute where you have to go for classes. You have an area where you like the food over there. So you're going to eat from there. So every day, you who's there, this is your habitat. And in that habitat, you get out from your PG, come to a certain area where is your institute, where you have your classes and everything. Maybe some of you might even sit in a library that is there. So that is your third part. And then you go and have food, come back over here, do all this process, finally come and stay at your PG at night. You see this area that is frequently used by you for your daily activities? That is your home range. That concept is called as your home range. So home range basically is the amount of space an animal uses on a regular basis. And that is called as home range. Now, out of all of these concepts that I taught you, so in your habitat itself is where your home range will also be. Got it? And if I need to conserve an animal, if I need to actually ensure that the animal is getting proper food, proper shelter, etc., which concept do you think I should be, as an ecologist, which concept do you think I should be taking more into concern? Is it habitat or home range? So, territory it is not. Why? Because territory is an informal concept. But out of home range and habitat, which do you think will be more helpful for me to conserve a species? Yes, home range. Why? Because see, in a large habitat, when you take, let's take an elephant for an example. Okay, I need to conserve the elephant. Now, in that large habitat, there might be bamboo plantations here and everything. My elephant in question is over here. Now, if I want to conserve the elephant, I have to see, okay, what is the daily routine it is taking. So, when I'm looking at the daily routine, I'm seeing that the elephant is going for food in one place. There used to be bamboo over there, but now there is no more bamboo for it to eat. So, the first problem I have identified that maybe in the entire habitat, there is bamboo in other places. But in the elephant's home range, somehow that bamboo which used to be there, the elephant is visiting that place because earlier, there used to be bamboo over there. That is where it used to go and eat. So now what has happened is now it is not there. So if I know that, I will be able to do the necessary steps to improve the condition of the animal. So I might be able to cultivate something over here so that in the home range itself, I can solve the issue. So rather than taking habitat in the home range, if I am looking at the concept, it becomes easier. Now, one example to denote in this is, I hope you all have seen the current affairs of cheetah reintroduction in India, where in Kuno Palpur in Madhya Pradesh, they reintroduced cheetahs. But unfortunately, the cheetahs perished. They all died. One reason that is being expressed over there is that the habitat did not have any problem. The habitat was somewhat very similar to the African conditions they were brought in from. But the animals were so young and weak that they couldn't determine their home range in a quick manner. That means they couldn't figure out where to go for food, where to get the, and see, understand, normally animals, when they are in the wild, they figure this out quickly. But here it so happened that the animal was put into the habitat, but the prey needed for these cheetahs were considered to be like really far away from their original location. So adding to the fact that they were very young and new and everything, these animals could not chart their home range quickly. And when they cannot chart, that means what? They cannot find food on a daily basis. They cannot find water on a daily basis. They cannot maybe have a shelter on a daily basis. So what happens? They in turn perish. Got it? So this is also a current affair related thing where in the news articles they were talking about home range. So I hope that is also clear. So I hope now the next time someone asks you about habitat and territory and home range, all the concepts are clear to you. Okay? Thank you.